Mackenzie Critiques, the Mackenzie Dick Raz's favorite anime. Welcome to a review for the movie Logan, and I only do these movie reviews when I come back from a movie that I fucking enjoyed, and whether it's a movie I was really hyped for. And Logan is no exception. I was so fucking hyped for Logan. I'm not gonna lie, my expectations were high, and when you have high expectations for a film, sometimes a film can fall far short of that, and very rarely do films exceed that. My expectations were very high, and the film exceeded those expectations. If not matched it, exceeded those expectations. This film was so relentless, so fucking relentless. So I said this. It has no chill button. No chill button. It's relentlessly depressing, but in a good way. In a good way, because it means that this film's about something. It makes you feel something. It fucking resonates, man. And it's about things. It's not about superficial nonsense. It's about fucking things. So where do I start, man? I gotta start with the way this film opens. This film opens when straight out when this film. I'm not gonna spoil it. It's a non-spoiler review. It opens and it shows you how it means to go on. It sets the tone of what the film is, and that tone is maintained throughout. Logan Wolverine, played by Hugh Jackman, is not the Logan we've seen, man. He's not the wisecracking. He's not the cigars chomping. He's not the freaking, cheesy Wolverine. And I always felt that Wolverine was held back, not because of Hugh Jackman's performance, not because of his acting chops. He was held back because of the writing, and he was held back because of the rating. And now we've got the R-rated Wolverine. When they call this R-rated, this is fucking R-rated. There's no chill button on this. The violence is gruesome, it's fucking violent. But what we see here is a fucking broken Wolverine. I'm talking about, like, his eyes are bloodshot. My man can't sleep. My man can barely get his fucking claws out without getting arthritic pain. Fucking can't even get his fucking. He's just what you'd expect of someone who's got a fucking adamantium metal skeleton that's fucking killing him. It's toxic to him now. At his age, his healing factor isn't healing him, and the metal in his body is toxic to him. Now, if that wasn't enough, and this is where I mean it has no chill button, he's trying to look after Professor X, who's got fucking Alzheimer's. He's got Alzheimer's, and the way they approach degenerative brain disorders is done respectfully, man. And honestly, there's something really heartwarming about Wolverine, who's going through his own pains, his own shit, having to look after Professor X. And Professor X is the most powerful mind in the universe, that universe. Now imagine if he had degenerative brain disorder. And they say in the film, they go, he's the most powerful mind on the planet with a degenerative brain disorder. They basically think he's a fucking weapon of mass destruction. And he's looking after. Logan don't want to fight. He don't want to have to fight. My man's sleeping everywhere. He's tired. He basically, you see this guy asleep in bed most of the fucking film. And that's where it tells you this ain't the fucking spandex wearing fucking film. So when this film has lots of films that it's like. There's a film that I could say is very much like, that I've seen, and I'm sure you've heard people say it. There's a Clint Eastwood movie called Unforgiven, and it's about an aging, older, lone gunslinger character. And Wolverine's always been described as that kind of sort of character. First, he was described as a Ronin, a samurai without master. In his prime, he was described as this samurai free spirit without master. He needed to be guided in the right direction because he was masterless and he's feral and wild. In this, at his age, he's more like a lone gunslinger looking for redemption. He's lived a life of killing so many people. Even though in these films they don't really show the brutality and the consequence to the violence in all the films we've seen up to, they take into account that Wolverine is a character that kills people. This ain't no bloodless violence. He's lived a life where he's killed people. Some people may deserve it, but after and they play this Western movie called Shane. And I think I remember watching Shane, and it's about a guy who walks into town, and helps out this kid, this woman, and he's this lone gunslinger, the wanderer. He comes in and out of people's lives, and he goes, there's no living with the killing. Wolverine, there reaches a point where just you break, and that is Wolverine where he is now. There's also a character in this called Caliban, who you might remember seeing in X-Men Apocalypse. You remember when Psylocke, the purple-haired lady, she makes the introduction. She's in this underground base where she's protecting this bald-headed dude, albino dude, called Caliban. And Caliban's power in the comics and all that kind of stuff is to be able to track mutants down. So Wolverine, Caliban, and Professor X are living together in some fucking, I guess, near New Mexico or Texas or somewhere, and they've got this little family unit, and all Wolverine's doing is basically making sure that he's got the right medication for fucking Professor X. Right medication. This is about real shit. It feels like, imagine you looking after a parent that's fucking old and decrepit. Imagine looking after a parent like that. They've given Wolverine that role where he's looking after Professor X, who's basically like a father figure. And Professor X found Wolverine and helped him, and you see that bond there. There's no paternal link there, and there's no real paternal link between Wolverine and X-23, Laura, the little girl, who I'll go on to. There's no paternal link. He didn't fucking bang some chick, and then this girl was born with powers. But she does have his. I won't go too much into it, but it follows the origin story of X-23, who is like almost, you could call, a copy or clone of Wolverine, that kind of thing. Now, there's hints of Terminator in there. I won't spoil a very, very important part of the film, but there's an interesting turn of events that you've not seen in the trailers, so I'm not going to spoil that at all. But there's moments where it feels like Terminator, where these guys are fucking like afraid for their lives. It's like No Country for Old Men, where like this, you got this vast wilderness. They're going out into the far reaches of the wilderness, but even there they're not safe. People will come and find you in those places, and Wolverine is so powerless. They depowered the guy to make you feel for him, and he's old, and he's fucking Professor X is old, and fucking Caliban's is much older, and they just don't want to fight. They want to just chill, man. And I don't want to spoil it, but there's a reason, there's a pact that Professor X and Wolverine made. They refer to it as Sunseeker. I think it's about, I guess they're Sunseeker, but they mean walk off into the sunset. But what does walk off into the sunset mean necessarily? Some people see it as a happy ending, but some people, you can also allude that there's a pact that's made. I'm not going to spoil it, but it gives them a lot of emotional weight to Professor X and Wolverine, and why they're together, and why they're just living out their days and that kind of thing. So it's no chill button. There's absolutely no chill button. It's depressing from beginning to end, this film is. And Laura X-23, she starts out mute, and she's mute, but she's got this intensity in her face. And I find it obnoxious usually when they cast child actors nowadays. The last time I saw a film where they cast a brilliant child actress, haven't seen many, but obviously Room with the Brie Larson was good, where they have a great child actor. I remember Leon the Professional, Leon with John Reno and Natalie Portman. That was perfect casting. Not since those kind of films that I've seen such great casting of a female actress with such intensity and sincerity. And later down the line, she's mute throughout the whole film, but I'll leave it there. But she develops as a character. This family unit develops between Professor X as the father, Wolverine as his son, and X-23 Laura as this kind of daughter. This mashup of these people together, and it's deeply human. It's deeply human story. Nothing like you've seen. The violence is vicious, and the soundtrack is amazing. The soundtrack is amazing. They play the right music at the right time, and none of it's heroic. None of it's bombastic, heroic fucking music that you hear in these $200 million budget movies. John Williams-esque score, or some nothing heroic about it. And as I said, this film most closely resembles a film called Unforgiven by Clint Eastwood. Not only in tone, but some scenes that literally feel like this is like a contemporary Unforgiven, but except with Wolverine and that kind of thing. And there's stuff that happens at the tail end of this film where I'm not going to go into it, but there's a lot more to this film than you might think. It's not just a road movie, a road journey, that kind of movie. I thought this film's a fucking masterpiece. My only gripe might be one or two things. One might be, it feels, not that it's bad, but it feels like it goes on, it goes on a bit long. I wanted to spend as much time as I could with these characters, but I do feel like it was a bit long towards maybe the second third of the film, near the end of the second third of the film. But that didn't take away from it. In fact, it actually enriched what happens towards the end. And Wolverine's this guy looking for redemption. He spends so much of his life, and that we've seen, staying away from people because loving is hurting for him. And he goes, look, man, everywhere I fucking go, man, I fucking bring pain and suffering and death to people. I don't want to be that guy anymore. Just leave me the fuck alone, man, he says. But there's that fucking heart in him that, you know, won't die. That flame in him that wants to do right. And, you know, he does right by people. And he comes across so many people in this film. He's constantly hassled. He's cut up. He's fucking bruised, broken, fucking, you know. And there's no coming back from that. There's no superpower power up. None of that shit. This is a guy like. This is a good farewell. All I'll say is this is a great farewell to not only Professor X and great farewell to Logan. And I thought this was a fucking masterpiece. I think. There's villains. There's multiple villains in this film. 2 that you've probably seen in trailers. There is another villain, but I won't go into that. They're actually decent. It's because that this film has, rather than have one villain that's amazing, they have 3 villains that all add something to it. The one that you've seen in the trailers, Boyd Holbrook, who plays DE agent from Narcos Season 1, Narcos Season 2. He's got that swagger. He's this very much this scummy Western archetype or foil or guy, like he's very much a company man type guy, you know, like he does the job and he does the job well, and you know, he's like one of those cockroaches that manages to survive, keep surviving. And their arc throughout the film is more to move the plot along, but Boyd Holbrook gives this weird swagger performance. He's got charisma on screen, even when he's not saying much. He's got this charisma, not only because the guy is good looking, but he's got great design. He's got great voice. He's done a lot with a very little. You know, with very little that he is in the film, he does a lot with it. There's another villain, more of a kind of I'm not a technocrat, but more of this kind of sinister scientist type guy who explains why, you know, mutants aren't being born and what's going on. That mutants, and that's the story. That's without spoiling. The mutants aren't being born. Professor X is using, and Wolverine, you know, Professor X is communicating with Caliban, who can track mutants. And you know, I feel so bad for fucking Professor X in this movie because he's suffering from Alzheimer's, and there are scenes with Professor X where the guy needs a fucking Oscar, man. It's not only Wolverine deserves an Oscar, but fucking Professor X, Patrick Stewart, deserves a fucking Oscar. So much sincerity. He's not hamming it up like Professor X. He's not pretending to be a character from the comics. And if anything, this fucking film tries to take the piss out of the comics. He goes, look at these fucking comics, and indirectly, by association, the films. He goes, look, all these films, all these fucking comics, man, they're bullshit. Literally, look at these fucking bullshit. People die, man. Maybe some of it's true. So this is like the reality is no match for the legend. The whole world's moved on, and they see the X-Men as heroic and awesome guys, but the X-Men all fucking dead. Wolverine's not the hero they all think he is, and you know, he does not give a fuck. He's like, stop reading these fuckers, stop filling your head with nonsense with these comic books. This ain't fucking real life. And that's what this film is, a big fuck you to those, you know, big budget Hollywood dumbed down fucking movies. And it's very violent. I'm talking about, it's quite horrific. It's very disturbing because a lot of people get fucked up, bodies get fucking lopped off, heads get fucking popped off, blood's everywhere, fucking people get shanked, and it is, and when that hits, it's satisfying. Also, if you want to see Wolverine go berserker rage, that berserker barrage, berserker rage, you will see that fucking in this film. It's just a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. I think it stands alone as a movie in itself. You don't need to watch the previous X-Men's. Because it follows this Unforgiven formula, this universal, aging, archetypal Western gunslinger, you know, at the tail end of in his twilight years. And, you know, this is a person who has legacy. And you see the real man laid bare, you know, and does this man end in a blaze of glory? Does this man whimper and die in a corner somewhere? You want to see out this tale, just like you want to see out the tale for Old Snake in Metal Gear Solid. You want to see out the tale of Bruce Wayne in Dark Knight Returns, the aging Bruce Wayne. You want to see, you know, the older versions of characters you love, and you want to see where the logical conclusion for these guys go. And I think it's a fucking masterpiece. I'm not even being hyperbolic. I'm not exaggerating. You know, and Daphne Keane is so great as a little girl, X-23. What else can I say, man? It's a character story. It's a character study. No living with the killing, you know. And there comes a point in your life where you know, do you die redemptive, or do you want to die alone somewhere? What's important in life? What is most important? It's not the struggle, it's not the war, it's not the fight, it's going back to your fucking family, man. And I feel as though this is such a powerful film. It's legitimately a powerful film. I hope you guys enjoy it. We're approaching the 15-minute mark. Please be sure to go check out my Twitter details in the description box below to follow me. Click the icon on the bottom right to subscribe. And I thoroughly recommend. It's a must-watch in cinema. I watched that at the IMAX, not the big IMAX, but the partnership IMAX that in Odeon and that kind of thing. Watched it on a big screen. Everyone was stunned. Everyone was stunned. There were moments where you wanted to cry, you hold back the tears. Everyone was silent. Everyone was fucking transfixed by this movie, and it's amazing. It's very depressing. No chill button, people. Thank you very much for watching.